yours that you know we're in trouble as a country when the president's message to Americans on Thanksgiving reads more like that absolutely freaking batshit crazy cousin of yours that used to send the Christmas letter filled with conspiracy theories that your uncle would read to everyone in a special voice after you opened gifts on Christmas morning. Did anybody else get one of those, or was it just my family? Because it was hysterical. The only problem is this one's being written by the leader of the free world. I mean, would it even be a holiday at this point if we didn't get a racist, nasty, hateful, Islamophobic message filled with complete lies, slander, and misinformation from the president? And in the first message, because he couldn't fit all of that hate into just one message on the day that's supposed to be all about giving thanks, he said that the only solution to this problem was the far-right concept of reverse migration, aka remigration, aka ethnic cleansing. Remigration is a dog whistle to white nationalists who believe that only white people should be in the United States and everybody else should be forced to leave. The best part was we didn't have any MAGA family members and we could read this message while we were eating pie. The worst part was when we realized this wasn't a joke. This was actually from the President of the United States and not from a mentally ill family member that we would never have to see again.
The last administration let in 20 million unknown and unvetted foreigners from all over the world, from places that you don't want to even know about. No country can tolerate such a risk to our very survival. An example is Minnesota, where hundreds of thousands of Somalians are ripping off our country and ripping apart that once great state. Billions of dollars are lost, and gangs of Somalians come from a country that doesn't even have a government, no laws, no water, no military, no nothing. As their representatives in our country preach to us about our Constitution and how our country is no good. We're not going to put up with these kind of assaults on law and order by people who shouldn't even be in our country, facing our nation. The last administration let in 20...
When America starts something, Europe copies. They most likely will start mass deportation of people who come from Afghanistan, Burma, Chad, Somalia, Iran. You can see the list. You can see the list there. You'll notice many of these countries have something in common. Instead of saying, these are the people we want out, they're naming nationalities instead. This guy here from Afghanistan decided to end this particular lady here who's just minding her business. Because of him, she doesn't get future Thanksgiving. That's the way it looks right now. It's this picture here. This is the one who was holding up. This is the one that scares the Americans. What you see in America is going to start happening in Europe as well. I feel bad for all the innocent, lovely people minding their business, and for all the wrongings. Look how you've messed up the life of so many decent people.
Good people, I want to believe that you're doing well, and today we're going to have a look at the reaction from the people and from United States of America and across USA following the directive from the president himself, indicating that going forward he may be forced to deport all, put an halt to the process of some migrants getting into USA through the famous Rotary visa. This after one female, the National Guard soldier, was shot and later she died in the hospital. She was shot by an Afghan national. This prompted the government led by President Trump to crack down, or to put a crackdown on the nationals from the 19 countries. See, people are talking much about what the president could have done, or they're giving their views. How do they feel the president could have done to ensure that the security of the people in the USA and even the police themselves could be guaranteed? I don't want to talk much. I would like to give you a chance to listen to the contributors of today's topic, what they have to say, what they have to talk about this incident, and I would welcome your views, your thoughts, and then I'll come later at the end of the video to give the verdict of today's discussion. Welcome.
So check this nonsense out right here. It says Trump says U.S. to permanently pause migration from all third world countries after National Guard member dies in shooting. So now that's his fix, is not to pull these National Guardsmen out of people's backyards for no reason. His answer is to pause immigration from third world countries. See, what they're not saying to you is they were hoping upon hope that some minority African American or somebody would have done something like this. Because if one of us would have done something like this, they would have locked down the whole eastern seaboard with troops. So he can't do anything now like he wants to do it. Check it out. Now he's got to lock down. Okay, so you're going to stop immigration from third world countries, as if everybody from a third world country would do this. This isn't about third world countries. This is about the fact that you got troops in doing things, working in positions and doing things they really have no business doing. You're making them vulnerable on a mission that's really not their mission. There was no reason for that young lady and that other troop, one to lose their life and the one still fighting for it, because you don't have them working in the capacity that they need to work. You have them vulnerable to anybody that decides to do something sick. It has nothing to do with third world countries any more than it has to do with you, this guy having him having people, soldiers, troops outside of their real mission. This is what this is about. This isn't about really Afghanistan. This has everything to do with the fact that this guy has misused and misappropriated the mission of our National Guard troops, our active duty troops, or whatever. As a veteran, this is ridiculous. And as long as we're still dealing with this, all of those troops are in danger. All of them. From any wacko that decides to do anything. This has nothing to do with this guy didn't fly in. The dude was here. What they're hoping is for somebody like us. So I will implore any one of our brothers and sisters out there, minorities, don't attack these people. Don't attack these soldiers. They're following orders. Don't give them trouble. Don't give them shit. They're following orders. They don't want to be there either. But we got people like him and Hegseth that don't understand the mission. Now they're in danger for every cuckoo, whether that be a foreign national or some blitzed out American, to do something to these people who are just following orders.
So the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services sent out this tweet and said, effective immediately, processing all of the immigration requests relating to Afghan nationals is stopped indefinitely pending further review of security and vetting protocols. And basically, the protection of the United States people is their first priority, blah, 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 blah. So all I'm seeing here is that this guy, possibly unaliving 2 National Guards, who was literally planted there, was used as a tool to keep Middle Eastern people out of this country. Because you can't do a full-on Muslim ban again like y'all did 10 years ago when Trump was president the first time. Yeah, so you got to create a situation and create panic to try to ban Muslims from this country without trying to ban Muslims. Like, you guys get what I'm trying to say? You guys get what I'm trying to say, right?
Wow.
Donald Trump has just announced something huge that most people still haven't clocked. He says the United States will bring in a permanent pause on immigration, on migration, from what he calls third world countries. Not a temporary freeze, not a review, a permanent pause. That's one of the toughest positions any modern Western leader has taken on immigration, and the scale of it hasn't sunk in yet. If this goes ahead, it rewrites America's entire approach to who gets in, who stays, and how the system works. Now, Trump says he's doing this because the immigration system is broken beyond repair, and that the country needs time to reset. And he's tying this in directly to an attack in Washington where 2 National Guard members were shot. And the suspect, an Afghan, had reportedly entered the US through an early resettlement program. And sadly today, we've learned that one of those guardsmen has now died in hospital. That single fact is going to change the entire political landscape. This is no longer just a debate about policy. It's a national security story, a public safety story, and a leadership story. And when something like this happens on American soil, every politician is forced into a corner. Trump's argument is simple. If the system lets in people it can't properly vet, then the system needs to stop, reset, and restart on his terms. And here's why this matters for the rest of the world. When the US takes dramatic action, other countries feel the pressure to follow. It creates what I call political permission. If America can pause whole categories of migration, why can't Britain? Why can't Europe? Especially when so many people across the West already feel their immigration systems are overwhelmed and not fit for purpose. Trump's already talking about reviewing millions of green card cases, removing federal benefits from non-citizens, and deporting people he says aren't a net asset. That language has set up alarms in the media, but privately a lot of voters agree with that blunt approach, even if they'd never admit it out loud. And that's exactly why this story is blowing up. The mood across the West is shifted. A soldier has now died, the politics has hardened, and the debate has moved into territory governments usually avoid. Whether Trump's pause is legal or ends in court doesn't even matter yet. The signal has been sent. The tough era on borders has started, and America just fired the first shot. What do you think of this? Drop your thoughts in the comments and follow for more news.